Yeah.
All right, looks like there's an ad running, so it looks like it's working.
Online or by phone and get any one-topping pizza for $7.99.
All right, the moment y'all been waiting for. Godzilla -1 spoiler discussion, and we are joined by Master Anthony Marquez of EKF Martial Arts in Chicago, aka the original Kung Lao, and of course our longtime collaborator Willdband. That being said, Joe, give me that countdown, Joe.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacino. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Niebor from Dog Eat Dog, and you're watching NerdCage Live. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are great guys doing what they love to do.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it! All right!
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running!
Run faster! Oh no, Joe! The galaxy's doomed because of you!
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
This is Ernie C. from Body Count. You're tuned in to NerdCage. Can you like and subscribe?
Hey guys, it's the original Shao Kahn, Brian Glenn, and I'd like you to subscribe to NerdCage Live.
What's up, NerdCage Nation? It's your boy, Jay St. G.
And of course, I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
Last Christmas, we did the most epic watch party marathon that was cheesy movies for charity.
And may I say, it was the most gratifying thing we've ever done on NerdCage Live.
Last year, we raised over $1,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So guess what? We're doing it again.
That's right, baby.
It's charity time.
Yes, Cheesy Movies for Charity 2 will be right here on youtube.com/@NerdCage Live on Saturday, December 16th, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. So Joe, kick this shit off.
Starting at noon, we will watch Double Dragon, which is currently streaming on Tubi.
And at 2 p.m., we will watch Samurai Cop, which is also streaming on Tubi.
At 4 p.m., it's Garbage Day. Yes, we will watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which is currently on YouTube.
And at 6 p.m., it will be Joe's first time as we watch the 1966 Batman movie with Adam West, available on HBO Max.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
And for the finale at 8 p.m., we will end on the highest note with Moonfall, available on HBO Max.
For this year, once again, we'll be working with St. Jude's, and we are going to set the initial goal for $1,000. We can do it.
When the watch party starts, there will be a link in the description where you can donate. Progress will be shown on stream.
The first 5 people who donate at least $100 will get a free NerdCage Live t-shirt of their choice at our merch store.
Once we hit our goal of $1,000 for St. Jude's, we will give away a NerdCage Live hoodie from our merch store because it's wintertime and it's our way of saying thank you.
Finally, if we get to at least $2,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, I will cut my hair off and donate it.
St. Jude's is our favorite charity, and we are so excited to be working with them once again.
Thanks a lot, NerdCage Nation. We will see you Saturday, December 16th.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in the nerd cage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Hello and welcome. That's right. Once again, you're trapped in a special Tuesday night edition of NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including Godzilla -1 and, of course, Mortal Kombat. So please, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe with everybody you know. Helps us more than you know. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the land of the orange, bullbound baby, of Syracuse, New York. And always among us is our moderator and trollhammer, stronger than a DK Banana Slammer. You can't stop it, you can't crop it, you can't top it like a B-52 bomber. Oppenheimer, he's gonna drop it. He's the NerdCage Live Gaming Prophet, Joe of FallenOne Gaming. What is going on? Please introduce our special guests tonight.
Yes, tonight we have the great Kung Lao himself, Anthony Marquez, and Willdband.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Hello. It's good to see you both today. Joe, before we go any further, who do we got in the chat tonight?
In the chat tonight, we have ourselves and Sunzilla 2008 and a ton of lurkers, I'm sure.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to show your face.
Yes, if you got questions about the movie, want to talk about anything about the movie, and of course, we have our awesome guest tonight. If you got questions for him, by all means, but we'll do the best we can. Joe, let's just plug in social media real quick.
All right, if you want to get us on Twitter or Instagram, both handles are at nerd_cage. Our link to our Discord is in the description. Become a member there as well. And our Facebook discussion group that is NerdCage Nation. We love everything you guys put up there. No spoilers, no politics, and for God's sakes, keep it civil.
And of course, please check out our TeePublic. And since yours truly, Godzilla -1, be sure to get yourself a NerdCage Live kaiju t-shirt here in the style of the legendary films. Pick that one up. We also got, in celebration of Mortal Kombat and the rival of Kung Lao, we got the Mortal Kombat arcade marquee, Mortal Kombat 1 Fatality, Mortal Kombat 2 Fatality, Mortal Kombat 3 Fatality, and of course, Don't Tell the RZA. We got Wu-Tang shirts, and of course, here's our Rocky 3 Prediction Pain shirt. So please go to our TeePublic, link in the description, whether if you're a skinny, booty call, or fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. We go from small all the way to 5XL. And Joe, let's bust these out real quick. Joe, if you haven't already, check out our live stream with Heather.
Yes, our live stream with Heather Hardy.
And of
that
course,
was a great
last week's stream with
Evan B. Stone and Jack Vasey of the SV Chronicles.
And Joe, exactly 11 days from today.
Yes, cheesy movies for charity too, with Double Dragon, Samurai Cop, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Batman 1966, and Moonfall.
Yes, please share it with everybody you know. The live stream link is now up. We'll be live Saturday, December 16th, starting at noon, and the St. Jude's charity donation link will be in there the moment we go live. So please share with everybody you know. Donate if you can. If you can't donate, that's okay. Share with everybody. Our goal is to raise $2,000, and if we raise $2,000, this hair is gone, baby. So let's go. Let's raise some money for St. Jude's next Saturday.
Let's do it, people.
Well, we can do it. We did $1,100 last year. We can double that this year. I know we can.
Wow. Yeah.
No excuses.
So that being said, so we're just gonna have our guests introduce themselves, promote whatever they want to promote, and just give your general thoughts of the movie. So Willdband, go ahead, promote whatever you want to promote, and give your general thoughts of the movie.
All right. Well, you can find me here on YouTube, Willdband. I do reaction content. I'm currently crawling my way through Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5. We're currently working our way through Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that we are highly enjoying on my channel. I'm also on TikTok, which is Willdband24. We recently just concluded me and my fiance's journey through the Godzilla franchise to get her ready for -1 as well. So all 30 plus movies and series reviews of Godzilla are on that channel right now. As for my general thoughts on Godzilla -1, go see it now.
Yeah.
Just go see it. That's all I have to say for my general thoughts. Just go see it.
Wonderful. And by the way, the links to all of Willdband's stuff is in the description. And of course, Master Anthony Marquez, the original Kung Lao and the owner and teacher of EKF Martial Arts in Chicago. Promote whatever you want to promote, man. The links are all in the description, and your general thoughts of the movie as well.
Guys, how are you? Yeah, this is Anthony Marquez, also known as Kung Lao, also known as the Kung Fu Rockstar. Really pick up the book, Kung Fu Rockstar. The links are below. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff. There's an album out. There's an album coming out next year. So just you can find me on all of those things. And my general thoughts, you can take Godzilla out of this movie, and it is still one of the best movies that I've seen this decade. And then you put Godzilla in it. Are you kidding me? This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with.
Yes.
So yeah.
You know what? That's a good place to start, Joe. Let's just get right into it, guys. This was where Shin Godzilla was a government-focused story similar to Godzilla 84. This was a human story, a very emotional story, and an emotional journey post-World War II, and just seeing this guy survive 3 Godzilla attacks and seeing everybody die around him, it's just, you sympathize, and it's just like, wow. Like, I can't remember, not since 1954 have we had so much emotional weight to a Godzilla story. Like, wow, that was amazing. And the beginning, now similar to Shin Godzilla, we kind of saw multiple forms, and it was also kind of almost like a throwback to Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 91, where we saw the pre-Godzilla before the atomic bomb. That might be my only complaint. Don't crucify me, guys. Don't crucify me, guys. I thought the CGI on the first Godzilla was a little jank, but seeing Godzilla like bite a guy and throw him and like wow, like that's something we haven't seen before. Like Godzilla just get that intimate in a mean way, and like that was a very intense beginning. Like I said, I thought the CGI was a little jank at that part, but the scene itself was amazing. It was again kind of a nice little throwback to both the Odo Island scene in 1954, along with the pre-Godzilla in King Ghidorah. So, Willdband, what are your thoughts on the opening scene?
So going to this movie, I knew 2 things, and I knew that we were going to see a Godzillasaurus type monster in the beginning of the movie. But seeing on the big screen and seeing how absolutely vicious that thing was, what a way to open the movie. Ooh. Oh man, I personally liked the design. Like, I will admit there were some moments where the CG looked a little not bad, but also there were other moments in the movie where the CG looked better. But even still, like, I feel like to me it added to just the visceral, animalistic horror that we were seeing upon those island soldiers. Like, man, like he was stomping, tail flattening and chomping those poor soldiers.
Yeah. Like I said, in the Godzilla movie, we hadn't seen anything like that. Master Marquez, what'd you think of that opening scene?
Okay, so here, let me take this back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so really, the last, I saw for sure Godzilla versus Megalon in the theater. I saw Godzilla versus Smog Monster in the theater.
Wow.
And so so it is what it is. But to again see the Toho opening in a theater in 2023, and then you it's like, oh my God, what year are we? I can't believe I'm sitting here with the Toho logo in a theater watching a Godzilla movie. Are you kidding me? How cool is this? And for me, what really drew me in, so you have the opening scene. They're working on his plane or whatever. They can't find anything wrong, and so this is all spoilers, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All spoilers.
Yeah. Okay. So the main character is a kamikaze pilot, and he doesn't go through his mission because there's something wrong with his plane, but they can't find anything wrong with his plane, and they start questioning him, and everybody goes through this, especially I'm just gonna babble if you don't mind.
Go, just go.
Okay. So they're questioning him, and there's so much about this that I loved. I loved that it was, a Japanese, a film from a Godzilla movie from Japan, created by, written and directed by a Japanese, and this guy's a kamikaze pilot, but he's afraid. He's, bottom line, he's afraid to do, to do his work, and on top of that, it's like, the war's already decided. There's nothing that he's going to do to risk his life that's going to change anything. And I love that element of it. And this isn't, a Westerner's point of view or anything else. This is a guy, in the culture writing this stuff out. And so I love that element of it. And so, he's afraid. And then, Godzilla, they see the fish coming up and like, oh, what's going on? And Godzilla's there. And he's the one guy who could, man the guns in his plane and go shoot Godzilla, Godzilla. And he's afraid. This is so human. This is so, this is he's not Rambo or he's not a jerk. He's just a regular guy. And what if I shoot Godzilla and it doesn't work? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get eaten. But then you see the ramifications of not taking the shot, and Godzilla's chomping on everyone. He gets knocked out. He wakes up, and everybody's dead except for one other guy. And it just it weighs upon him. Yes. And this is what I was talking. It just, oh my God, this is getting back. The last time I actually cared about any person in the Godzilla movie was in Final Wars. It's because, who was in that? Don Fry and Katsugi, with was it Shane? I can't remember with Katsugi was it. But I love, and then the main villain. But this is somewhere where it's like, oh my God, I care. I'm interested in this story. I'm interested in this story, in a human story in a Godzilla movie. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is awesome. So that's my thoughts on that opening scene. It's like they got me because there's Godzilla. It's a pre-atomic a bomb Godzilla, but the human story from there. It's like, okay, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. So,
I'm also happy they referenced that it was on Odo Island. That's a great throwback to the original movie. Because that was where Godzilla first appeared in the first movie, Odo Island. So that was really, really nice that they threw that in there, that they made Odo Island a Japanese repair base during World War II. That was such a cool...
nice little way to tie everything in
together.
Yes.
Well said. Joe, I know you haven't got your input yet. So, Joe, what did you think of the beginning there?
Dude, I kind of loved it. The thing is, there's a couple points that I have to make. I mean, one is the fact that CGI, as bad as it could have looked in that scene, I think they did what they could because it's
Small
really hard
budget.
to do. Well, it's small budget, but that aside, it's really hard to do CGI work in a dark atmosphere like that. So, being that it was at night and everything, I could see they were kind of limited with what they could do, and I think they did what they could with what they had. So, I'm not really going to be too, overcritical with it.
Not to mention it was brief too. It was a short scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and when he did run to the plane and start doing everything, they kind of mentioned they're like, you're the only one that can get on the gun, and it's a 20 millimeter gun, so it can tear through anything. I was like, you're really underestimating.
Nothing can survive a 20 millimeter.
I'm like, you're really underestimating Godzilla here. But at the same time,
Yeah, but
it's
that was their first time encountering anybody encountering. So how are they supposed to know? So that was really cool how it was all executed.
And I kind of shook my head a little bit too. You guys just said you never used guns before because you're just repairmen, but you know what a 20 millimeter gun is going to do to something. so it's
I mean, since they're playing repair like men, I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense that they're used to like, okay, so we know what a 20 millimeter can do to another plane. Well, we know what it can do to a ship. So clearly, it'll hurt an animal.
Yeah.
Not to mention, they said it was a repair base, and they said that the Americans weren't aware of that base, or even if they weren't going to attack it because it was just a repair base, not like not a military hideout. So
Yeah. Right.
there was no they made it clear that there was no threats, so they didn't really. So those soldiers were obviously not combat experienced, and of course, so when they saw Godzilla, it was just a gut reaction, just to start shooting with their guns, and then we saw what.
Yeah, I did. Part of me wanted to see him shoot just so that they would go, "Oh shit, it doesn't work," But at the same time, I mean, him freezing up and everything was a nice human moment, so I let it go. And I mean, it was a good opening sequence. I mean, the design of the original Godzilla is a little underwhelming, but it's supposed to be because it's not final form yet. So I understood where they were going with it, but I enjoyed it.
And then I guess we could segue, and then all of a sudden he comes back to Tokyo after, and for those who I'm sure know their history, there was an air raid in Tokyo, and Tokyo went in flames. A lot of buildings fell. Not all of them, but a lot of buildings fell. He comes home to find out his family's dead, and then all of a sudden he's thrusted with a new family, which was a nice. Again, I think Marquez touched a little bit earlier. That was a nice human story. Because even if you take Godzilla out, we have the story about a man without a family who's thrust with a new family. So that was something different that I'm not used to seeing in the Godzilla movies. So that was really, that whole family theme was powerful. Like this woman with an orphan child, and all of a sudden is just thrust into his life, and he's like, well, she's here, I'm stuck with her, and he's got to learn not only to fight his PTSD, but to learn how to live with a family he's never had. So that was wonderful. So Willdband, what did you go ahead and just how your thoughts onto the our main cast there.
The main cast did a phenomenal job from beginning to end, especially Shikishima and Noriko, their chemistry from the beginning, from when she invites herself to the shattered remains of his parents' place, and then of course them caring for Akiko, you even before Godzilla shows up again later on in the movie, you already care about these characters. You want to see them survive by the end of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Master Marquez, go ahead and your thoughts on our main cast there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so he goes back home and he runs into the neighbor, and there's devastation everywhere. She lost her family. He's asking about his family, and she knows that he's a kamikaze pilot, and he came back, and he obviously didn't do his job, and so he didn't stand up for his country. He lost face for the family, and this is so Japanese. This is so especially throughout all Asian cultures, but especially Japan. There's so much you have to have faith and say, give faith and say faith and all of this stuff. And your reputation, everything about that is almost more important than what you actually do. And to to couple the failure of not going through his what he was supposed to do, and losing his family, and then the neighbors knowing that, oh, you are you have no faith. You have no faith. I mean, you should not be here. And then to be, so feeling all of this, and then the woman with the baby comes into his life, and like, oh my God, how much more can this guy take? And for me personally, I'm not a fan of you guys know me. It's no BS where I very much live by, if you're going to say something, you do something. If this is what you actually want to do, if this is your mission in life, this is what you do. And it's very easy to get sold into that mission of life. This is, especially I loved how they talked about, sometimes the government doesn't do what's best for the people. Sometimes they hide things. Sometimes, all of these things with the Japanese government, and they're telling them on the fact that, oh yeah, you have to give your life for your country. But at the same time, the war is over. It's already been decided what's going to happen, and so all of that stuff just drew me in, because I'm not even at first I was so mad at this guy. It's like, do your duty. And so, but I'm glad there's an arc for him. But I'm so mad, but I'm still drawn into this. And again, we've had a minute of Godzilla, and this is for me, it's the same thing with Batman Begins or Captain America: First Avenger, especially in those two movies. I didn't want Batman to appear because I loved how they were building up Bruce Wayne. I didn't want Captain America to appear because I loved how they were building up Steve Rogers. For this one, it's not that I didn't want to see Godzilla, but I was okay with the human story, as opposed to so many other Godzilla movies. Like, get to Godzilla. Get to Godzilla. I don't care about any of this other stuff. Get to Godzilla. And this is the first time, well, outside of Final War, because of Don Fry and Katsugi, that I actually, I'm okay. I'm okay with what they're doing right now. So yeah, that's how I felt about it.
And to add on top of everything you just said, it was also nice that we got the time flow. We see time progress. You see them rebuilding their home. We're seeing the little girl get, the baby become a little girl, and getting older and whatnot. And you're seeing their relationship get established more. And then of course, he takes a job. And I can't wait to talk about this. This is what I've been aching to talk about. He gets a job as a minesweeper, and we get, in my opinion, I don't care what anybody says, this is my opinion, this is the best Godzilla sequence ever put on film. When Godzilla is chasing the boat, it felt something out of Jaws. It felt like something out of Jaws. I'm gripping the arm of my seat like, oh my God, Godzilla, let this boat go. Don't kill these guys. Like, I'm watching this like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, and you can hear the music building up. It's like intense. And like, oh my God, it's the best Godzilla sequence ever put on film. And on top of that, when you see the mind blow up in his mouth, we see Godzilla regenerate. Like, now Godzilla can always regenerate. It's been since the first we got, but this is the first time we see it. We see it like Wolverine. Like Wolverine recovering. Like, oh my God. And like, I almost shat myself seeing that. Like, oh my God, that was so cool. But at the same time, I'm scared shitless because I don't want these men to die. And they're in this cruddy little boat, it's like, if this guy's so great, why does he have such a crummy looking boat? Anyway, sorry. But yo, that was just awesome. It was something straight out of oh my God, guys, just go. What do you guys think of that boat chase? Just go. Whoever, I don't care.
Well, I'm going to bring it back to the main cast for a second. I fell in love with them, and I did like that they showcased the core values of the Japanese people back then, where you had family, honor, country, and then self. And, you know, he does mention that his parents told him basically before he left, do not die. Basically, he told him to live. So that gave him a reason not to go through with the mission, which kind of made me sympathize with him, because you have that internal battle of, do I finish the mission for honor, or do I listen to my family and come home alive? And at the end of the day, you're probably going to listen to your family over anything. So I understood what he did, but I understood that he knew going back that he was going to run into a lot of anguish with any survivors that realize that he's a kamikaze pilot and he survived through it. They're not going to take that very well. So I understood, and he was thrown into a lot. I mean, he had the woman show up and then leave him the baby, and then he had to take the baby. He didn't know if she was alive. Then he found out that she was alive, gave the baby back, and she still stayed with him, just to find out the baby's not even hers. And he was just thrown into a lot all at once. And to survive what he survived and then go through that on top of it and be able to come out unscathed was, you know, impressive. And it just goes to show what the human mind and body can do, you know? So it was very inspiring. And that scene you're talking about, Jay, I agree with you. One of the best. The regeneration was awesome. Seeing them actually be able to hold their own in a little wooden boat was pretty amazing. So, you know, kudos to them for that scene.
Yeah, that sequence, like I tried watching as little trailers and like clips before the movie as possible.
Me too.
I knew. Of course, because the internet is the internet, going through your feed, I saw glimpses of the sequence of them dropping the bombs in the ocean, trying to get rid of them. So okay, I know they're going to get chased by Godzilla at sea at some point, but still just watching that sequence from beginning to end with the deep sea fish rising up and then Godzilla coming out of the water, just
He's like, I'm coming to get you.
And then, there's not many. I saw this point being brought up online. There's not many Godzilla movies that treat Godzilla as a sea creature. He's a sea creature. He comes from the ocean. So seeing him just chase this little boat and then first bomb went off. That did nothing. Great. Second bomb. The trigger's not working. Shoot the bomb in his mouth and then blam. They actually stop him for us. They stop him for a second, then we get that little scar on his cheek now. So I'm
and the reaction, though. Did you see the guys on the boat? The reaction was priceless.
Yeah.
And then of course,
I love the recurring theme. I love the recurring theme in this, where it's supposed to be the military is versus Godzilla, but really in all, it always ends up being just Shigashima versus Godzilla. It's one-on-one most of the time, because it always comes down to with the Heim, they're sitting there trying to set it off, and then they realize the fuse is disconnected. They're like, oh shit. And then he gets on the gun and he's the only one that can take it out. And it's it happens like that over and over through the movie, where he ends up being the end all be all that can take him out. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I did love that. I did love that. So all of the supporting cast, the woman, the baby, the neighbor, the captain of the boat, the scientist, the first mate or whoever that guy was. I loved all of that stuff. And I loved how they set it up where, so they're collecting mines or whatever, and they need a wooden boat to not attract the magnetic mines or whatever. And so all of that made sense. Okay, that's cool. But now you're out there and you see this bunch of guys out chasing you. It's are you kidding me? That was the most exciting Godzilla chasing. It was one of the best Godzilla scenes ever. But it's very much reminiscent of Jaws or whatever, where they're gonna need a bigger boat. It's crazy. It was crazy that the first mine didn't go off, and I'm glad that again that from being afraid. Shit, there's nothing else to do. Take the shot, and it's just that growth and him always it's always the military versus Godzilla, but this time around it was this one guy somehow is always being put up against Godzilla. I loved all of that. I loved, this is the start of his character growth, but still always suffering from PTSD and survival guilt and all of this stuff. But oh my God, that chase scene with Godzilla. Yeah, by far one of the best Godzilla scenes ever put on film.
Absolutely, it's my favorite by far.
Oh, yeah.
Doomzilla brought out a really good point there. He says, funny enough, even a bigger boat still showed up, and it still wasn't enough. So the big Navy ship shows up, blast Godzilla right at the nick of time, right when he was just about to crush that boat. I'm like, oh no, like please, I don't want to see these guys die. And then Godzilla gets blasted, turns around, sinks that he goes on top of the ship, he gets blasted again, falls off the ship, and then we see the atomic breath come from up, blows up the damn boat. Godzilla disappears, but then it's just like wow, and then Godzilla just left the little boat alone. But my God, that was intense. And then if you're in the movie theater, the sound of the bombs going off on Godzilla, and then the atomic.
Oh yeah.
And if you guys are lucky,
ASMR for days.
Not to brag, but me and Joe were lucky enough to watch it in 4DX. For those who don't know what 4DX is, that's a simulator with the vibrating chairs and the fog and the water getting splashed in your face. And I'm telling you, when the 4DX effects kicked in with the bombs going off in the ocean, there, oh my God, guys, it was a sight to behold, to be there, to feel it, to hear it, to feel it. My God, it was everything I wanted in a movie theater going experience. Oh my God. And then I guess
let me just touch on some of the 4DX effects. When he's chomping on guys, you can feel that in your back.
Yeah.
Actually,
awesome. There's a little bar, there's a little bar in the seat that pokes you. So every time a person got chomped, you felt the poke. Like right when Godzilla was chomping on a human. So that was really awesome too. Joe, thanks for bringing that up. So here's why I went to my next segue here. So Godzilla disappears, shows up in Tokyo, but another great throwback to 1954. They said, we're not going to tell the public. We don't want to stir or panic. I'm glad that was a nice throwback to 1954 because the government talked about that, saying, hey, we need to let the people know. We need to evacuate. No. We don't need to cause chaos. And then Godzilla appears in Tokyo like he always does, and also a nice throwback to Mothra vs. Godzilla. They copy and pasted the theme from Mothra vs. Godzilla onto the Tokyo scene, and of course we get another brilliant train sequence. All right, whoever wants to go, just go.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So the train sequence was a throwback to the original one.
Yes.
But okay, and then the building that he destroyed, was that also in the original Godzilla?
Yes, that was. I think that's the Ginza Theater that he walks past in the original as well.
Yes, because that survived the air raids.
Right.
Which was also referenced in Godzilla 54, where he knocked down the clock tower and the theater there, which resonated with Japan so much because, again, that survived the Tokyo air raid, but here comes Godzilla and knocks it down. And another great throwback I like, too, was the reporter on the rooftop. Going back to 1954, the reporter on the Tokyo tower. Oh God, that was so great! Like all those little nuances, all those little throwbacks of 54 during that whole Tokyo scene. It was just goddamn brilliant, man. It's like wow.
That whole Ginza sequence was just like I've had other friends see this movie and they're like, oh, they just recycle the themes. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from. I hear your criticism.
Yes.
But the Godzilla's theme is playing sushish.
And like I said, it was
the second
Godzilla. It sounded great.
Yes. Yeah. The second the theme came on, we see him walking towards the train, just like the whole sequence was just it reminded you there were points in specific there were points throughout the movie, but there were points specifically in the Ginza attack where it even though this is a CG creation, it still felt like a guy in a suit at some points.
Yeah, because the movement was slow. Master Marquez, you said you had a question?
Oh yeah. So, actually, not a question, but a statement. And just to turn this back just a little bit, I loved how they set that up. Where so the mind's in the mouth and it blows up, and he's injured, but he regenerates. But then he turns around. The bigger boat comes. He gets blasted into the exterior, and nothing happened. And I loved how the foreshadowing of because how are you going to injure Godzilla? He just took a full blast from that battleship or whatever it was. But he is You go from the inside out, and you might have a shot. I loved how all of that was set up in that previous scene, and now he's in Tokyo, and I loved all that. I loved the train sequence. I loved the theater thing, the reporter. All there's so much about that we could talk about this part for forever.
Yeah.
But please go ahead.
Yeah, and then the reporters and everything I kind of laughed at that part because they're sitting there doing an entire news story while Godzilla's coming at them, and you're like, dude, put the mic down and run. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I understand exposure to everything, but at some point you might have to have some survival skills.
Yeah,
but of course, at the end not to mention, it was so neat seeing the building collapse and they're sliding down, just little stuff like that, and then going back to the train, and she's hanging on to dear life, and she sees the water.
Yeah, she has to let go at the exact moment just to survive.
Oh, God, just stuff like that, because it's very we never really get the destruction from the human point of view. It's mostly Godzilla's point of view, Godzilla destroying the city, but we got to see the point of view from the people running from Godzilla, getting trapped in the building as it collapses, trapped in a train where they're in Godzilla's mouth. My God, we haven't those were throwbacks, but we haven't seen it executed like that in any Toho film.
Right. Yeah. You know where that reminded me of what was that? Cloverfield. That first movie.
Yeah.
Cloverfield. And I loved how they did that. And watching that in the theater, I was always wishing, man, I wish they would do this with Godzilla. And then here you go. Because I really felt that in Cloverfield. And now, how do you like that? It's happening with freaking Godzilla. So I loved it.
Jay, I'm glad you brought up the human perspective and everything, because the Showa era, as great as it was, whenever you see destruction, it's always like this overhead view, all encompassing of the destruction that's happening. You don't get to see it from that first person view that you get to see in this one, where you're like, oh shit, this is really happening. So I mean, you get to see the full scope and at a human view. So that was kind of amazing to me. So
plus we have the sequence ending with the new way of Godzilla charging up his atomic breath.
Oh yeah,
coming out of his back. Yep. He's rear back, and as he's about to let loose, they slam back into his body, and then bam. Atomic
I kind of like the heat ray a little more in this one, because when we see the heat ray in the past, it's like this just giant beam that just destroys everything in its path. Where this one, it just kind of goes off a little bit, and then you have the giant explosion afterwards. So it's like an aftershock rather than the full-fledged blast that we're normally seeing.
And not to mention, again, another 4DX effect. After that atomic blast went off, all the fans will blow in the air as the whole, the aftershock, and so the fans in the theater were going off. That was so cool. That was a nice touch, Joe, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and you got the smoke in the front and everything. It's just you have to be there and experience that to really, really enjoy it.
I am not gonna lie, I did thought was the girl's name Noriko? Was that her name?
Yes,
Noriko. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was dead. I fell for it. I was just like,
I know.
I think most people did.
She shoves him, and he feels guilty about it. Yeah, and she flies backward. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, how's this man gonna?
Bye.
I'm like, how's this man's sanity gonna go now with her being dead? She just saved his life. His sanity's gonna go out the window. Like,
Oh,
wow, again, back to the human element, and I guess we can sort of segue to the end here, but like, you know, he loses Noriko. He's trying to help, you know, he's trying to figure out what he's gonna do with the little girl, and then of course he's trying to bring out the mechanic out of hiding by writing those letters. Like that was an awesome sequence. Not to mention, I'm not gonna. It was probably the one funny part of the movie. He shows up, punches him, knocks him out, ties him up, throws water on. Like, loved it, and I loved it. If you guys want to go ahead on the
And dude, like, just to touch upon when she sacrifices herself and pushes him in the alley and everything. Afterwards, when he realizes, oh my God, she's dead, and just the emotion that he expresses. Kudos to that actor for his acting chops and everything.
Yeah,
because that was amazing.
Phenomenal job.
And the black rain that rushes on him while he's doing that scene. In 40X, dude, you have the rain coming down on you, and it's just, you can feel it. It's just something that is just, wow. There are no words, you know? It's just great. So that was an impressive scene.
Yes, all of that stuff. So, okay, so she dies. You know, he, you know, again, they're mourning her. He sees the pictures of the cats from Odo Island or whatever. And yeah, he's losing everything. It's always about Godzilla, and all of the the war is never over for this guy. That PTSD stuff, all of that, it just drew me in so much. You really felt that this guy was suffering, and that atomic breath thing, that is by far the best rendition of Godzilla's atomic breath. You couldn't imagine something better than that now. This should be the standard of how Godzilla, the atomic breath shot should always be. With the build up, the scales, the build up of the energy, the shot, and then the noise, and then the explosions, and oh my God, are you kidding me?
Master Marquez, I have to ask you, what kind of theater did you see in? Was it a 4DX, IMAX, regular? What kind of?
It was labeled as, those like IMAXs that aren't actually IMAX theaters.
Okay.
It was that. Yeah.
Oh, I think is it RPM or RPX, I think, or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, I was just curious.
Yeah, and dude, it's just, I don't know, the emotions that were felt with it. Like afterwards, after he realizes that she's gone and everything, there's kind of a moment there where he's like, Jesus, why didn't I just go through with a kamikaze mission? I wouldn't have to go through anything.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, yeah.
There's a moment of regret. It's very short-lived, that moment of regret, because eventually he just goes, you know what, I'm just going to kill this fucking thing.
Yeah, see, that's what I love. And okay, now you're talking my language. I'm glad that you were able to grow from that person that, was scared to take the shot to, you've pushed me so far. I don't care what it takes. I'm taking the shot. I'm taking you down with me. I don't care. I loved it. I loved it.
Yes, and then we get kind of similar to Shin Godzilla. By the way, I noticed that the format was same as Shin Godzilla. We get Godzilla's first form, Godzilla attack Tokyo, and then Godzilla goes away, or in Shin Godzilla he freezes. But then we get like a buildup of what the plan is to kill or / stop Godzilla. So kind of a similar format, but this one was a little different. So now that we're getting the layout of how we're going to stop Godzilla, and we're trying to convince these ex-soldiers to do another dangerous job that some of them are hesitant to do because they just survived the war. But we also get, like I just mentioned earlier, we need a mechanic. I know just the guy. It has to be him. I need to get this guy out of hiding. So I love those sequences there. Them trying to get the guy out of hiding, and they're getting the dude to, and then of course they're like, hey, you guys are free to go, but we got to do this. Someone's got to do this job. Someone's got to do it. It was brilliant. Also, a nice little historic tie-in. The U.S./Soviet tensions there. So
right.
So our duty as United States is we have to help Japan in any military conflict. But because of the the Cold War tensions building up, we couldn't help Japan, so Japan had to like come up with something on their own. Nice little historic tie-in right there.
Yeah.
But I just loved it. You know,
Which I will.
Go ahead.
I will say that whole planning sequence, like, okay, what like 1940s ish sci-fi like weapon are we gonna come up with to defeat Godzilla? None. We're gonna use science. I love that. I think I forget what they said, like freon bubbles or nitrogen bubbles, something like that. Like, oh,
and I love how they modified the original idea of like the oxygen displacement from the beginning, and then they kind of modified that for Freon to sink him and everything. That was kind of cool.
Sink him down, and then the backup plan, like, okay, well, if the crushing pressure down there doesn't do anything, the rising pressure will also probably hurt him. Like, I love that this isn't trying to like invent a new oxygen destroyer.
Yeah, it was physics.
He's using physics and science back in the day to try and defeat this monster the best way they could. And it was, even though like the plan ultimately only hurts him, it was still a good plan.
Yeah, and I do like there's 3 plans in motion at the same time. You got the plan A to sink him, the plan B to rise him, and then you have Shikishima that's like, no, I'm just going to go into his mouth and kill his ass.
Yeah.
And so I'm no expert on any of this stuff, but yeah, I could have sworn, I think that, so after the war, Japan is defeated, and the U.S. keeps the royal family and lets them govern themselves, but they can't build up a military anymore. I believe it's the 7th Fleet, the U.S.'s 7th Fleet or whatever that protects Asia at that point. So they're undergone. They have no military. Sure, the U.S. and the Soviets are in a Cold War at this point now. So it's like, nobody actually wants to step in. And I love all of this stuff. And then this also spoke to me too. Is the plan going to work? There's a good chance, but it might not. But somebody has to do something. Maybe it's not a foolproof plan, but what? Are you going to just wait and, maybe somebody else is going to save us? Maybe we could wait until a better plan happens? Or do you just take action? I loved all of that. And I love that. Okay, some cats walked away, but okay, these are the guys you're literally going to war with. Let's do this. And you could wait for, somebody else to save you. You could wait for your government to save you. But no, it's like, we have to take care of this. We have to take care of this ourselves. There's no other plan. There's no better plan. This is our shot. Let's do it. That spoke to me so deeply. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love how Mr. Noda's getting criticized. And it's like, dude, if you have a better idea, I'm all ears.
And I love that. If there's a better idea, speak up.
And also, I like the fact that he's like, well, wait a minute, is this certain death? And he's like, of course not. And then he's like, well, hey, this sounds better than war. This sounds better than going to war then. Let's go.
Let's do it, boys.
I laughed. That was such. He's like, yeah, it sure beats wartime. I'll do it.
And that's a good segue because this actual sequence of that is probably the second favorite sequence I have in the entire movie, when they actually execute the plan and they get him to sink, and then they start rising him up and it stops, and you're like, oh shit, he's not gonna die. And you're like,
nothing. When you got Godzilla, nothing goes as planned. Also, I have to mention real quick, King Kong versus Godzilla. They had the song from King Kong versus Godzilla during that.
Yep, they had the theme.
Yeah. Marquez, go ahead. I know Marquez.
Oh no, I was thinking about it.
What it does.
I'm still in the Wuxi Academy. What do you think?
By the way, I'm hoping to come. By the way, off topic, Master Marquez, I'm hoping to be back in Chicago in July and come train again. So
awesome.
I'll be in touch with you in that regard. But
okay.
I love how they throw back to King Kong vs. Godzilla with the music there, and then Godzilla, like Joe just said, Godzilla sinks. He seemed about to breathe the fire, and then he freezes, and then we get like a moment of calm. The crane starts moving. Okay, float him up, and then Godzilla breaks loose, like bites through the cables. Oh my God! And
what's really crazy about that whole scene is when the crane kind of breaks. It's like the crane's not going to hold him, and then all of a sudden you hear over the radio, you hear the friggin' the kid come up, and he's like, "Who's fucking useless now?" Everybody
The useless are here to help.
Yep.
Yes. That was great. Also, I have to. Okay, so jumping ahead a little bit. Wow, were you gonna say something? Sorry. I'm sorry. We're supposed to.
Yeah, just say like the whole like the two warships are like, okay, we can't pull them up. What are we gonna do? And like the kids like, the useless are here to help. You see all the boats coming in from Japan.
Yo.
Not gonna lie, I got a little bit of chills. Like, and the people of Japan are coming together. We're gonna kill this freaking monster.
And it's like, and as Marquez pointed out earlier, it's not the military; it's the citizens of Japan.
Yes, and I love that. I love that this was, akin to the Avengers, where everybody, whether it's the kamikaze pilot, whether it's the captain of the boat, whether it's the scientist, whether it's the kid, everybody contributing to this fight. Like everybody needed everybody for this fight. They wanted to leave the kid behind, because he is the future. He's the future. He doesn't need to be involved in this war. He's going to go ahead and live for the future. Everybody else is probably going to die. But but they can't do it. The ships aren't strong enough to pull Godzilla up. The trains are failing, and then the kid shows up with a whole bunch of tugboats. I loved it. Are you kidding me? I love that.
Yeah, so it's definitely a wonderful sequence. And so when Godzilla, well, actually before Godzilla dies, but I got chills when we found out that there was indeed an ejector seat in the plane.
Yeah. So when the mechanic, I believe his name is Tachibana, like he's looking over like the plane, like we see that shot of him looking in the cockpit, and we see writing on the seat, like I'm pretty sure that's German writing, and I'm nearly confident that's an ejector seat. And then we see like, okay, he's like, I gotta come back for Akiko. He's like, okay, one more thing. Then it pans far away, so we can't hear what he's talking about. Like, he's telling him how the freaking ejector seat's gonna work.
He did say before you drop the bomb, pull this lever, and I'm assuming that's what starts the ejector seat, right? I'm assuming. He says before.
That's what confused me.
That's always the station for the bomb or something.
It actually primes the bomb, but that
okay.
Too, because I thought that was the ejector seat too. I thought he was like misleading.
I thought that was to get the
this primes the bomb. I was like, because I was confused. I was like, does the bomb actually need to be primed, or is he just selling him a story of bullshit and that actually ejects the seat? But no, then it pans back after the fact and kind of shows you that there's a lever there that ejects it.
I forgot. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, but that whole sequence, that's another of those things where, okay, Godzilla's not on screen, but I'm still sold on this because, so now he wants to come back for the baby who's now like a little kid who's not his daughter, who is his daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I loved all of that. He wants to come back, but then the mechanics that everybody on that freaking island wanted to come back too. And it's like, you're right. I have a mission, and this is what it is. And if I die, so be it. And okay, so I'm glad that he got to that point. But then the mechanic, then they pan away like, hey, bro, okay, I'm glad that you're here, but here's the ejector seat. I'm glad that, okay, oh my God, yes, because everybody in war wanted to come back. Everybody on that island wanted to come back. You think you're special that you can come, you want to come back so you don't have to go through your mission, and he's ready to do whatever it takes. Oh, but and by the way, there is an ejector seat, so you're okay. So I loved all of that. I loved it.
To Master Marquez, to add on top of it, there was, I think the scientist spoke of the dialogue saying like, Japan treats life too cheaply. Kamikaze pilots with no ejector seats. So it's sunk in even more that this time for this mission, not for wartime Japan, but for this mission, we want to preserve life, and this plane's going to have an ejector seat. Like, that was...
And I did like the subtle tones that you have to read between the lines to find. I was able to find those, and they were pretty powerful. Like I said in the beginning, his parents tell him, just live.
Come home.
And then the mechanic says the same thing when he's talking about the ejector seat. He said, "You need to live." So it's like he always goes back to that and always remembers that and always goes through with living, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So I almost forgot about a fun Easter egg. So I saw this movie again this past Friday with my future father-in-law, and he's fluent in Japanese. So it was cool to see, not only to see a Godzilla movie with someone who can understand the language, but also like hearing him like make comments every once in a while. So one of the battleships that they take out to fight Godzilla with in the end, one of the ships in English is called Black Salt.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
I never would have known that.
Yeah. I know. There's a fun little fact. Like, one of the ships is called Black Salt.
But here, and then going back to when they're working on this, the prototype airplane that he's going to fly or whatever. Yeah. So they zoom in on it, and you see. There's English letters written on the seat, and none of this dawned on me until we're just discussing this right now. Yeah, that it was English letters or whatever, but I guess it was German, and I guess that would designate a German, a German like an ejector seat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Japanese made or whatever. Yeah. And so you see the writing on the seat when they go into the cockpit. But yeah, none of that connected into my head until we just had this discussion. I love it. I love every Easter egg, every just hint at what's going on. Oh, there's so many layers to this movie. Oh my God, I love it.
And I'm going to fast forward just a little bit.
Yeah.
Jay, you can say what you need to say, and then I'll fast forward a little bit.
I was going to segue too. I was going to say, so when Godzilla meets his death, or did he? Well, I'm assuming, this is my perspective, I think that was a throwback to Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, All Out Monsters Attack. That's a mouthful. So Godzilla, kind of like, not explodes, but like, he dies from his atomic breath, kind of disintegrates, and then when you see him like fall into the ocean, he's regenerating. I'm guessing that's a throwback to GMK.
Yeah, you see the heart falling. Yeah, you see the heart falling through the ocean, and it just starts like sprouting.
And then
so I think that was a throwback to GMK.
The director, Takashi Yamazaki, said that GMK is his favorite. So like you usually see the influence GMK had in this movie.
Yeah, and Shay even says in the chat here that the father of the main girl in GMK, he says his name is Taichibana.
I think he's right. I'm about to just rewatch it again. But.
Yeah. But that was a cool little throwback God, they stopped Godzilla. But, oh wait, Godzilla's gonna come back eventually. So that being said, and we can wrap this up soon here because I respect everybody's time here. But I'm just gonna say I'm hoping that they continue this particular. I know this was filmed as a standalone movie. It was written and filmed as a standalone movie. But I hope they continue this timeline, this specific -1 timeline. They continue, even if they have to have a time jump to modern time. I love what they started here, and I hope they keep going. And I hope the next Godzilla movie from Toho is not another standalone movie. I hope they continue. I hope there's continuity. That's just me.
Yeah, agreed.
But I understand. But I do understand if it's just. I do understand if this is just a standalone movie. I understand. I completely understand. I hope it isn't. That's just
and there's really only 3 other scenes that I really need to touch upon. One is when he actually executes and flies the plane into the mouth of Godzilla. There's that moment there where it just kind of stops and everybody like waits to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and there's no sound too. Remember that one scene where they cut the silence, complete silence because because Godzilla's about to breathe his atomic breath, and then here comes the plane. That was very
and it just stops there, and then you have the explosion where the freaking head blows apart. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, pun intended. But yeah, then you see the parachute come down, and they kind of point and go, "Look, he's alive," and that just does it for me right there when you realize that the plan has been accomplished and everything should be good now. And you could breathe a sigh of relief. It was just it's a good end to the tension.
And then spoiler, Noriko's alive in the hospital. And then I ain't gonna lie, I was purposely holding back tears because I didn't want to.
I couldn't believe that.
I did not want to cry in front of everybody. I was holding back the tears at that final scene in the hospital. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
So the whole thing starts with like the neighbor who's babysitting Akiko. She receives a telegram. I'm thinking, it's probably from Shigashima. He's like, I just took off, and we'll see what happens. But no, so then she comes back. She's like, here, look. Then when he reads, I'm like, there's no way she's alive. Then of course they run up the stairs, and there she is with a freaking like IV drip, a wrapped up hand, and like a half bandaged face. And how in the world are you? Oh, that's how you're alive. Got it.
And that was a very powerful moment.
I hope we get a sequel, mainly just from that little like.
Yeah, just the line that she says in there is your war over now? That was very powerful. So I appreciated that.
So here's where I'm going to have to I don't disagree with you at this point.
Yes.
For me, okay, so I loved everything about this. Everything, and over obviously I still love this movie, but I was okay with her being, dead. I'm sorry, it's just one of the casualties of war, whatever kind of war we're talking about, and I felt like, this is almost like, like a Hollywood ending to a Japanese movie where, okay, we're fine. We got to bring her back. So, I was okay. I was okay with, she died saving him. He's going to have to, he's going to raise this kid now by himself. But these are the sacrifices that are made, and I was okay with that. And so, that was the one part of the movie that kind of drew me out. But then, what was going on with her? What was that? You saw it on her neck. What?
I didn't notice that was a tactic
sequel of some sort.
I'll have to look further into that because
Yeah, it seemed like there's some black growth or whatever, and I know that like they're always connected. The monster's always connected to the humans in some way, shape, or form in all of these movies. Is there something there that I'm missing about Jay? Is there something that I'm missing there? Is there going to be a sequel? Is she somehow connected to Godzilla at this point, or? What do you speculate is going on there?
So there was.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Wow, go ahead.
There was an interview recently with the actress who played Noriko. I forget where it was, some Japanese magazine, but she said she would be down to do a sequel, and there's been potentially there has been like already talks of one. We'll see if that like how we get a sequel from this. But my speculation with the whole like neck growth thing, because Godzilla can regenerate with since he got mutated by the atomic bomb, he probably did die when she got
sorry, I think
near enough Godzilla, but she was also far away. Like she wasn't like right next to him, she was enough away from him. I theorized that she died, but she absorbed some of the radiation Godzilla had, and now she kind of regrew back from when she was like in dying state, and that like black, like I'm gonna say black dorsal plates that we were seeing like climb up her neck, like that's like she might be turning into some sort of like Godzilla like human hybrid, if that makes any sense.
So, yes, I can see something like that going. Go ahead.
I was just reading online, and there's a lot of theories, and the most prominent one lately is that it was radiation that was gathered from Godzilla, but she gained his regenerative properties, and that's how she survived.
Wow, I didn't pick up on that. Look, hold on, it looks like Looks like Willdband got disconnected here. Hey Joe, I'm just gonna pop your placeholder in until he gets back here.
Okay.
Right. Oh wait, no, he's back. Okay, never mind,
Yes.
He's back. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All fixed. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even pick up on that, so kudos to you guys. Okay, so you know what? Let's all right. So it's 10:45 here on the East Coast. So let's I guess we can start wrapping up here. So here's what we'll do. We'll go back in the circle. Everybody will promote whatever they got to promote, and then give your final rating 1 through 10, where you rank the film, and so on and so forth. So Willdband, go ahead, man. Dish out your thoughts, promote whatever you want to promote, man, and give your rating.
All right. Well, like I said at the beginning, you can find me Willdband here on YouTube, Willdband24 on TikTok. I do reactions, I do reviews, I do gaming every once in a while. I just have fun with my friends and my fiance on my. In terms of my for the movie, I will say what I said when I saw this in IMAX for the fan event. This is a 10 out of 5. I argue that this is the best Godzilla movie in the franchise now. You could argue the original is still the best. You can argue that either Shin or another movie is probably the best. I argue now Godzilla -1 is the best movie in the franchise. The story, the human characters, you want to see these people survive by the end. I know in some of the American movies you could care less if like they survive or not, but this movie in particular, you want to see Shikishima, Noriko, and Akiko survive to the end. Plus, Takashi Yamazaki's new design for Godzilla is fierce. Like, this looks like a feral animal ready to kill you at any instant. I already have both the monster arts and the Super 7 figures on pre-order, so I cannot wait to get those in hand soon. So, yeah, this is a 10 out of 5 for me. The theatrical run got extended, I believe, to either the 13th or the 14th of this month. So,
yep.
The 14th. So see this while you can. And as of the beginning of this live stream, our good friend Yoko Higuchi informed us Godzilla was #1 at the U.S. box office this past weekend, pulling in $1.225 million over both the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and another movie called Animal. So not only was it doing great in Japan when it first came out in Japan, it's doing great here in America during its first opening weekend. Like, Godzilla's ruling the world right now, man.
I know. Who would have knew? Who knew? But Willdband, thanks so much for joining our discussion here, and to Master Anthony Marquez of EKF. So promote whatever you want to promote. Give your final rating of the movie and overall thoughts, and then all that. So go ahead, my friend.
All right. So follow me on Instagram. Buy the book. We've talked about this book a couple of times. Doesn't matter, what time of year it is. It doesn't matter what time of life it is. The book is, Kung Fu Rockstar. I think there's something in there for everyone. And then listen to the music. All of that good stuff. As far as Godzilla movies go, I am in the camp of this is by far the best Godzilla movie ever made. There are different, there are different types of Godzilla movies, yappity yap. But for me, this one was the best one ever made. The atomic breath, the atomic breath is, that on its own was, puts it at the top of the list. Yeah, with the dorsal fins getting into place, the whole 9 yards, just everything about that just puts it at the top of the list. One of the best movies I've seen this decade. Now we're just talking movies. One of the best. I would put it in top 3. I would put it in top 3 movies that I've seen this decade. A phenomenal work of art. I love it. I do have a question. Maybe you can answer this. Was there any, because there's not a whole lot of publicity around this Godzilla movie, are they restricted in any way because of the MonsterVerse movies or whatever? Is there anything where they can't push the Toho ones here in America that much? Or do you guys know anything about that? Is that a thing? Because this thing, go ahead.
I know at the I know at the beginning of the first legendary movie in 2014, I want to say I heard rumblings there was some sort of agreement where they were Toho and Legendary were each allowed to make their own movies, but I think there was something in there that said they couldn't release in the same year, like they had to release like away from each other. I could be wrong in seeing that, but I want to say like around the time of
it's different distributors, and on top of that, this was actually a limited release too. So, and I think with limited releases, there's only so much promotion, as Master Marquez was saying. That's just I mean, I don't know for a fact. I'm just guesstimating.
Right.
But Master Marquez, 1 through 10, what would you give this movie?
Oh, okay. So I'll give it the 10 that it deserved. I'll give it another 10 for every other piece of junk movie that I've seen this decade. So 10 plus how about a couple more 10s and probably another 10 on top of that. So multiple 10s out of 10. How about that?
That sounds good to me. And Master Marquez, we'll have to get together and do another fight critique soon. I've been wanting to get back into those,
definitely.
And, I can't wait to come by in Chicago again. And of course, please everybody subscribe and follow Master Marquez on all social media below. Buy the book. Check out the band Kung Lao and the Scorpions. And Master Marquez, thank you so much for your time with us tonight. It means the world to us, and it's just so cool. I idolized you growing up as a diehard Mortal Kombat fan, and knowing that you like all the stuff that we're into, including Godzilla, just makes it that much more special to get hear your fandom with us. So thank you for sharing with us.
Oh, thank you. You don't know how much I appreciate being in this whole community, and yeah, it's cool to all of this stuff. It doesn't matter if it's kung fu, Mortal Kombat, video games, comic, Godzilla, or Star Wars, Avengers. I don't care. All of this stuff just rings true to me. I love this stuff. I'm glad that I love that you guys include me in all of this stuff. I love it. You don't know how much I appreciate this stuff. So thank you. Thank all of you guys. Thank you for letting me be part of this community. Thank you.
Absolutely our pleasure. It's an honor to have you amongst us. All right, Joe, give your rating 1 through 10, your closing thoughts, and of course promote our upcoming shows.
All right, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'm gonna say this is my favorite Godzilla movie now too. 1954 is like right up there with it, but this just blew it out of the water, like literally. So I mean, it's just it. I don't know if anything's going to be able to pass this in the distant future here. So it's going to take a lot to overdo this one. And with that being said, I'm with Jay. I hope there's a sequel. Now that they teased the ending where he's regenerating and everything, I mean, there's certainly room for it. So I would say if I had a direct line to Toho, continue what you're doing. Just keep on keeping on, because it's amazing what the stuff that they've come out with. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
All right, Joe. And Joe, to our audience who haven't checked out already, our live stream with Heather Hardy.
Yes, Heather Hardy. That was an electric live stream. Go check that out if you haven't already. You won't be disappointed.
Podcast is available
Jay
as well.
A couple of candid moments with Heather there that he kind of won on, should I say?
not to brag. And then, of course, Joe's last week's stream, Evan B. Stone.
Yes, with Evan B. Stone and Jack Vasey of the SV Chronicles. We hope to have them on very soon again, because that was an amazing live stream as well.
And I don't have the podcast version ready, but I will. But you can check it out on YouTube. And then, Joe, mark your calendar. Saturday, December 16th, starting at noon. Cheesy Movies for Charity. Yes!
Cheesy Movies for Charity 2 with Double Dragon, Samurai Cop, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Batman 1966, and Moonfall.
Yes, and our goal is to raise $2,000 for our favorite charity, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We did $1,100 last year. I think we can do $2,000 this year, so please donate if you can. If you can't, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Share with everybody you know. Let them know. If you have any friends, families, co-workers that can donate, please. This is money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And it's time of giving. It's Christmas time, and we're going to watch terrible movies on top of that. So hang out with us, watch terrible movies while we raise money for St. Jude's. It's
and you said if it's $2,000, the hair goes?
The hair's gone. The hair's gone. If we get $2,000, I will cut my hair short. I haven't had my hair short in like 7 years. So let's do it, guys. I know we can do it. I absolutely feel in my heart that I believe in NerdCage Nation. I believe in this community. So let's do it. And then finally, my closing thoughts here. Top 5 Godzilla movie for me. I mean, there are still a couple titles I like more, but this is a top 5 Godzilla movie for me. I'm giving this 9 out of 10. There are a couple of things I would have liked to include it in there, but it's okay. 9 out of 10, and I'm a hard ass, okay? So I'm a cynical snob. 9 out of 10 for me. Top 5 Godzilla movie. I liked it just a little bit more than Shin, just a little bit more. But my God, was it what an experience to experience this in IMAX and 4DX in a theater. And I'm just so happy with the feedback that this movie's getting, how well it's doing. It's awesome. I can't think of a time it's been be a better time to be alive as a diehard Godzilla fan. And I'm also happy that the casual audience is, kind of getting in on the fun too with this movie. So it just shows you how powerful it is. Again, 9 out of 10 from me. Top 5 Godzilla movie for me. And this has been absolutely fun. So once again, I just want to thank my co-host Joe as always, and thank the audience for hanging out with us tonight, and of course to our longtime collaborator Willdband and our dear friend Master Anthony Marquez of EKF Martial Arts in Chicago, Illinois, the original Kung Lao. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be in touch. More stuff on NerdCage Live on the way again. Cheesy Movies for Charity 2 is coming up next Saturday, guys. Help if you can. The donation link will be available the day of the stream. I promise you, Joe and I are going to blast that donation link everywhere. Keep your eyes out open for that. So that being said, everybody, we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit like a Godzilla's atomic breath. So the USA, from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, Chicago, Illinois, so all of our friends around the world at NerdCage Live, Willdband, and EKF Martial Arts in Chicago. As always, enjoy life. Stay safe. Eat your vegetables. Do your push-ups. Go to the gym. Keep watching Godzilla movies. Keep playing Mortal Kombat. And good night, guys.
Good night.
Adi to the os.
And stick around for our awesome promos, guys. Good night.
What's up, NerdCage Nation? It's your boy, J-St. G.
And of course, I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
Last Christmas, we did the most epic watch party marathon that was Cheesy Movies for Charity.
And may I say, it was the most gratifying thing we've ever done on NerdCage Live.
Last year, we raised over $1,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So guess what? We're doing it again.
That's right, baby.
It's charity time.
Yes, Cheesy Movies for Charity 2 will be right here on youtube.com/@NerdCage Live on Saturday, December 16th, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. So, Joe, kick this shit off.
Starting at noon, we will watch Double Dragon, which is currently streaming on Tubi.
And at 2 p.m., we will watch Samurai Cop, which is also streaming on Tubi.
At 4 p.m., it's Garbage Day. Yes, we will watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which is currently on YouTube.
And at 6 p.m., it will be Joe's first time as we watch the 1966 Batman movie with Adam West, available on HBO Max.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
And for the finale at 8 p.m., we will end on the highest note with Moonfall, available on HBO Max.
For this year, once again, we'll be working with St. Jude's, and we are going to set the initial goal for $1,000. We can do it.
When the watch party starts, there will be a link in the description where you can donate. Progress will be shown on stream.
The first 5 people who donate at least $100 will get a free NerdCage Live t-shirt of their choice at our merch store.
Once we hit our goal of $1,000 for St. Jude's, we will give away a NerdCage Live hoodie from our merch store because it's wintertime and it's our way of saying thank you.
Finally, if we get to at least $2,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, I will cut my hair off and donate it.
St. Jude's is our favorite charity, and we are so excited to be working with them once again.
Thanks a lot, NerdCage Nation. We will see you Saturday, December 16th.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it!
All right!
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe. It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Ooh, trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!